Hello. Bang on time, I think. I've taken my Fitbit off to charge, so I'm a little bit lost. Right. Happy Monday feeling. Helen for YouFit Studio. I do a little song for Rita. Hi Rita. And Aksha. Rita and Aksha. And Kate. Wait for it. Come on, Kate. Don't let me down, Kate. Come on, Kate. Yes. Shouldn't hang on for emojis, so excited in life. We don't have the small floating Heather head today. Because Heather's not in this house. Regrettably. I would love to enjoy bringing her on camera, but unfortunately that also takes a bit of manoeuvring. We still need to practice that. So I'm not entirely down with that one yet. I might see if I can change that today though. Hey doctor. It's like ages since I've seen you, doctor, at least an hour or so. So we're waiting for a couple of people to join us while I work out what I'm doing. There we go. Oofed. Oh my lord, I'm holding everything because a giant dog just tried to topple everything from underneath the desk because she just came out. Apologies, I was like this. Earthquake! The whole thing might have gone. If you see what's on my desk, you realise why that would be quite a concern. Right. I'll start with a funny story while we're waiting. Where's Hold Extra or not today? I confused two things today. The first thing being a tube of stuff which you put on muscle to make a muscle feel better, and the second thing being a tube of stuff you put in your mouth to make your mouth feel better. So I sound a little bit croaky, this afternoon because the two things should not meet. On the plus side, my mouth has got really good muscle relaxment. Hey Nikki. Okay, Sonic. Right. Right. Okay. Sound like I've got quite a rough voice. Right. Worst thing is I did it in front of Bav and Sam, and I didn't tell them I did it because I knew they'd take the mickey. So I just continued to rub this stuff into my mouth. Slow burning effect, literally. Right. How much has changed in your environment? And this is going to be a tie-off of two lives. God, I sound so deep. My voice sounds so deep. Dear gosh. Hey Nosh. So how much has your environment changed? This is a couple of ones really. Again, this is kind of planned. This one was planned a couple of weeks ago. So a couple of weeks ago, I expected our environments, majority of us in the Leicestershire area, to be slightly different. So I did expect things to have changed somewhat for us. Hence a lot of the planning around who moved my cheese on Friday and environmentally changing or what you find happiness in. Excuse me. So this one of how much has your environment changed was potentially to do with something else. However, it does tie in with a couple of the lives that I've done just of late, and it's kind of more of slightly kind of a recap of what I did a couple of months ago as well, because things always change in a couple of months, or a couple of weeks, or a couple of days, as we know. So it's good to sometimes go over this stuff and reevaluate, and also see how you might have considered the last time we did this. Hey Linda, just to see where your kind of life or your lifestyle is. Now, we talked about when I was talking about environment previously. When I was talking about it, a lot of it to do with at the time in my head was the social environment. So how much has the social environment changed, if at all? And I suppose this depends on actually if you're watching. We should do like two lives, one for the in lot and one for the out lot, because it's almost like a greeting. Hi, how are you? Are you in or out? Kyle, are you in? Oh, you're in. Oh no, I'm out. Oh no, you are out. Okay, we're out. So actually, in terms of how people are dealing with things and what they're doing, a lot of it is based on if they're in or out. Anybody outside of Leicester listening, watching this is like, you don't understand. Only us Leicester people understand that conversation. In or out. Oh God. So environmentally, a lot to do with socialising now for those people who are outside has actually started to change. And I was having a conversation with somebody just this afternoon, who is having, let's not all hate this person, by the way, or dislike them because they're getting to do this, having an anniversary meal out in Nottinghamshire this weekend with her husband, and that's brilliant, right? She's already starting to change her environment and kind of blend that in, albeit there's going to be a very different situation. For example, she would love to go to the place that she normally goes with her husband, but that place is still closed, even though it's out. It's out. Her restaurant is out, not in. However, she's going to be changing the whole routine or the whole what's called the anniversary, how they do it every year, by going somewhere else. She's going to make a massive change to what would be their environment for an anniversary based on this. This is the first year they don't do it, right? So yes, it can be that, but it's also, when I talked about it before, I was talking about how you changed your working environment, how you've changed, yes, your social environment, how you've changed the environment with your family, all of those things, and how you've adjusted to that, if at all, or how you've made adjustments to it, right? That's how I talked about it last time. And I don't think that's necessarily changed since the last time I kind of talked about it. If anything, it's seems to got more complex. Isn't it got more complex? Because of this now, because this the second layer actually is going to be alive in itself. Are you in or out? Because that's a layer of complexity, isn't it? So can we go there? Oh, is it in? I saw somebody earlier who was like, I'm so happy because he's inside. And he said, I found out that the golf course is also inside. I'm like, it's good news. He said, yeah, if it was outside, I'd be screwed. Right? So it's in or out. Like our environments now actually dictated a lot, or our choices of how to change our environment is actually dictated to by actually legitimate postcode situation at the minute. Which is a logistical nightmare, obviously, depending on where you're located and what you want to do. A lot of this, though, if I think about it on a different level, it's kind of thinking forward now. If I think in my head, I'm thinking a lot for my clients for almost like August, September time. July, I don't think about July. July's what it is, right? It is what it is. There's also the catchphrase of people of Leicester. It is what it is. I think if you'd have put in a teacher, Leicester. I'm from Leicester. It is what it is. Or I'm from Leicester. I'm in, not out. It is what it is. I can make a line of those. I might make one this weekend for myself. Just on the front of it, it is what it is on the back. Thinking forward though, I think of a lot of it is if we think about for the sake of how much the environment has changed, and we think about the whole story of Who Moved My Cheese, with the mice trying to find and move with change and find something new, right? Because three of the four characters found something new in their environment which they enjoyed and valued, and that's no different to what we're all going to be doing or are attempting to do at the moment in some degree. So actually looking for is something new that gives us value or enjoyment, etc., based on our environment, what we can and cannot control, which is the maze, right? So at the minute, the are you in or out is negotiating the maze of Leicester. And actually at the end of it, the cheese for a lot of us at the minute is actually making some change to our environment in some sense. So how much we change our environment is based on how much we're willing to navigate it, I think, in all reality, or adhering to not navigating at all. Let's be honest. Some of us are like this, I'm staying exactly where I am. You could, if you'll all know the answer to my question if I come on tomorrow with like spanking hair, with like all the roots done and all. I mean, like, hi. It's been offered in-house to have an attempt at it. I declined. I'm turning slowly into Sam in that I'm refusing to get my environmentally situation changed until I can change mine. In all fairness, going back to the point, what do you want is in your new value kind of dictates how you're going to look for it, or how much you're motivated to look for it, like the characters I was talking about. And understanding what it is you want to be looking for. Like, what do you want? Really? I mean, Kate came on us last time. Kate was like, I'm working till, till lunchtime, part-time, I'm done. Right, it'd be interesting, Kate, if that's still happening, or if slowly as your maze has changed, your new values have changed, right? And your environment's changed with it, like how much you had to change around it. Again, though, it's like, how do you marry it? Well, I talked about on Saturday, I talked about that, how progress makes people happy. Progress towards something makes people happy, which is why, vice versa, why over the last 3 or 4 days, there's been a lot of, both Sam and I have experienced this with clients. A lot of the negativity about the in or out shenanigans, in all fairness, is because some people are able to make progress towards whatever they visualize their environment to be in the future, and some are not able to, and that's dictating how people feel emotionally. Like, I'm feeling like I can't progress somewhere, on a physical sense, or on the timeline of everybody else, and therefore I am unhappy. So think about it. Think about what it talks about on Friday and on Saturday. If I'm that character that sits there going, everyone else is changing, everyone else gets to change, everyone else gets the haircut, everybody else is going out, look at them in London, it is not fair, when can I do this? I wonder which character I'm being at that point of view, because I'm not finding happiness in moving forwards. The thing is that character is not seeking anything else in their environment, like that gives them the sense of progress. I'm not talking about breaking the rules of moving. What I'm talking about is finding other things that give you a sense of progress in life that is not based on the environment we're currently in. If you're in the zone, you're out. Also, it'd be interesting if you cast your mind back, and some of you watching actually were not with us from the beginning. However, how much of your actual perception change has changed? Like, how much have you changed with change along the way? Like, if you cast your mind back to what your value was, because Kate's saying 3 days, 7 to 12 done, boom. Yeah. So still working the hours. Kate's still working the hours that she chooses to work, because she's chosen to take control over her environment and actually keep it changed as it was. However, it's Kate's come to that understanding, which is brilliant. And a lot of clients have, right? They understand and know what they want based on their environment, because it's been dictated to them. Now, one of the points I made on a different live, although it's fundamentally might change. See, no, this we have to decide, Kate. Does it change or does it not change? Right? You have the choice. Because here's the thing, Kate. Look, this is the one. This is, by the way, this is one I should have put in my mouth. This isn't the one I put in my mouth. It's a different one. Ouch. Just leave that there. Let's not get them confused again. I made a comment on live that I heard from someone else. It's brilliant. And his comment was, well, this is a well-known saying, knowledge is power. So knowledge is power, right? The knowledge is power. It's only as powerful as if you use it. So if you know something to be true and yet do nothing, is that power, or is that a lack of power? Because I know which one it is. If I know something to be true and I do not change something in my environment to adapt to that, or if I know, for example, if I know that, which I do, that meditation is fundamentally the best thing for me to do every day, right, and it makes me feel fantastic, and I don't do it, is that knowledge powerful? Because it's not changing anything. It's not changing my life in any way or my approach to my day. In fact, I'm choosing to ignore it, so it's not giving me any kind of power. So, is knowledge power, or is knowledge only powerful if you use it? Interesting, right? It's true. It is actually true. So I'm thinking about how much your environment's changed and how much control you have over it. If you know something to be true, you know that something is good for you, like Kate's come to that realisation, and that's it, Kate. That's where knowledge becomes power, that you keep changing it, or keep doing something to remain it within your life, then there's the power, right? However, if you choose not to, if you choose not to do something about it, then therefore how much power do you have? Right, so recap. We don't have to do a huge one on this one, because it's just a recap of recap. Right, so I talked about how much environment changed, right? So when I talked about environment, I was talking about your situation with work, with relationships, right? With your socializing, how much you invest in it. And think about the live we did on Friday. Like, if you're negotiating your environment in it to find the value of something, that's fundamentally been changed again for us in Leicester. Woo! Based wherever you're in and out. You still have to understand what you're looking for, though. What is it you want? What is your new value in life? What is it you're trying to achieve? What is it you want? If you know what you want, why not change it and do it? Or are you going to slide back into behaviours looking forward to August or September? And I made the point, so going back to the live on Saturday, there's a difference between people inside or outside the zone. Right? People not moving forward or people not making progress have are unhappier because they feel that they're not moving forward. That's not to say they can't find something in life to give them that sensation or feeling. It's just actually at this point that they're one of those characters in Who Moved the Cheese, right? They're just staying still and doing nothing. Okay, and again, I'm not saying go out there and break the rules. What I'm saying is that there's other things that you could be doing in life to move forward, on an emotional point or from a career point or whatever you want to choose. However, if you're choosing to stay still and do nothing, then there's nothing that you can do, right? So it's important to remember that moving forwards doesn't always mean the same as what everybody else is doing around the country at the minute, right? Progress can mean something else. It still gives a sense of reward and a sense of moving forward, right? A sense of giving you something. And also, how have you changed your perception over this, or your environment, or what you want to change, right? And I finalise it with knowledge is power, right? But only as powerful as if you do something with it. So if knowledge is power and you do nothing, is it as powerful? The answer is no. It is not. So knowledge is not power if you choose to not use it, right? So that, my friends, is the recap of a recap. We all know now that Kate is winning. Kate saying the brain named itself. Just a thought. Might change. The thing is, okay, it might change. Again, it's knowledge is power. If you know that you prefer and like and love working in a particular way, and it makes you happier as an individual, allows you to balance more in life, either you choose to ignore that information and carry on, or you don't. You know which way of living makes you happy. Like, lots of our environments have changed again, even since the announcement, I think. For some people, and I've talked to them, that's what's interesting. Environments are changing again. It's changed because of people's mindsets. Right? Because either people have stopped doing things entirely, right? Because I've had that as well. We talk about how much your environment changed. Well, actually, if you're in or out, if you're in, what have people done? They've stopped doing anything at all. Their progress in their head is physically based on whether or not someone says to them, you can go and have a drink, or you can go and have a meal, or you can socialise however you want. That's not truly all progress is in life. It's what they're pinning their happiness on. And therefore looking at other people like they must be happy because they're doing things. But what have we always talked about when it comes to perception and reality? You know, you can create your own sense of happiness and fulfilment if you know what that is. Again, though, if knowledge is, if you know what makes you feel good and you choose not to do it, that knowledge is no longer powerful. It has no influence on your life, has no means of changing your life if you don't use it. So, Kate, going back to you, you know. Hey, Sham, you know what makes you feel good, so use it. Use it, don't lose it. Also true, right? You never look at things in a different way, though. You always assume that use it or lose it, right? It's like the same thing with knowledge is power. Use the knowledge to make it powerful or lose it, right? If you know how to change your environment, you know what makes you feel better, and you choose to lose it, then you lose the power of your own environment. That's the reality. And that's what it fundamentally, actually, even though all of this stuff has rolled into one, these, like I said, these lives were always planned weeks ago. They were always planned. Like, I planned these probably about 3 weeks ahead, 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes I've done a whole month. I'm planning the whole of August this week, right? They're always irrelevant, though, regardless of what happens, because all this stuff is relevant all the time in life. It just becomes more relevant as we have different changes, right, to our environments, like over the last few days. But, you know, equally, though, excuse me, well, cough up my burn. Equally, though, if you're guys are thinking, right, there's something that's really bothering me, or there's something that I would like Helen to tackle, or something that's bothering me, well, I don't have to go into detail. I'm not going to bring you on to live. I keep trying to bring Heather onto live only because I find that really great fun, and having her on the live on Saturday was great fun. If she was a tiny little head from 2 meters behind me. I felt like she was a really small parrot on my shoulder. I kept on to bring her into the conversation. However, I won't bring you onto the camera, but I always say to you, message me, let me know if things you want me to cover, or something that's bothering you and you want a different perspective without going through it in a coaching session, or you just want to see what other people's opinions are on something you're experiencing at the minute. Then message me and let me know, because that's important that we're inclusive, and that other people can hear different perspectives. Maybe it's me as a coach, or even if they want one of the coaches to go through it, that's cool. But also it's good to get you guys on board, right? So you can say to me, actually, Helen, I'm struggling with XYZ. Like, yeah, cool. We can do it on here, or we can do it in private, whatever you want. But it's also a forum for you guys to get involved. So that being said, I will go and see you again, or see your names again. I always say that. I see you again. I'll see your names again tomorrow at 5 again. So have a lovely evening and enjoy your environment. Right, see you later.